Hi guys, this is Juno and welcome back to another Summoners War review. This account owner is a Patreon, first of all, so shout out to you, OK Magda, Oak Magda, or Mags in my Discord. Thank you for supporting me. This account owner is a very hardworking mother. She's working 2 jobs and she's still supporting me. Thank you, really appreciate it. But you did say that I could roast you, and I will take that to heart. So there are things that I will have to say. Hey guys, before we start the video, if you guys are interested in getting advice and help from me and other Summoners War players, feel free to join my Discord, where the link is in the descriptions below. Also, if you enjoy my content and want to support me, become a Patreon, where the link for it is also in the descriptions. I want to say I appreciate all the support, and believe me, I really do. Anyways, that was it. Let's get back to the video. So Oak Magda, that's what I'm going to go with, is a player that's been playing for 1,100 days. The highest record she got in regular arena is F1, and RTA is F3, which is pretty damn surprising. We usually don't see RTA in a higher rank than regular arena. This account owner told me that she is a avid RTA player and she enjoys RTA. Again, surprising. With the rune qualities I saw, I can't see her winning too many matches, but yes, it is F3. I do think that I will be pretty stressed out playing RTA in this level. Don't get me wrong, I know it gets worse and worse as you climb up the ranks, but I can only imagine being it really stressful playing in a rank with low rune qualities. So for some people that already might have noticed, she did not finish Toa hard, and that is the number one thing that I would finish. I know it's time consuming, it's pretty much a chore at a certain point. Even with the times 10, in this level, I am assuming that there are going to be some stages where you have to manually play the game, and yes, that's annoying. But if you really want to enjoy the game, this is where you're going to get the most resources without paying the company, without buying in-game currency. So I think that's the first thing I will do and start working on a Toa hard team. She surprisingly has all the dungeon teams other than the Punisher Crypt, but this is doable once she gets her Trickaroo done. And she does have the Trickaroo all built. It looks like she's just having rune issues. So the next thing I will do is probably the Trickaroo, because it's already 2-8. You have 3 of them. And it's just really a matter of fact of you ruining them up. Once you have that done, you'll have a team that can run DB12, NB12, and then the Punisher Crypt. I think it's pretty clear on what you have to work on next after Toa. And then after that, probably Raid. It looks like you don't have a BJR5. That's how I would progress, work on the BJR5. Let's take a look at your box, because we did see a LD5. And this is where I meant that you have a Trickaroo, but you do see that she does not have the defense quality, but these are not plus 15, and so are the other runes. That says something. Same with that Trickaroo and this Trickaroo. This account overall does not have a lot of time to farm. And how did I know that? I checked her event, and it's been a week, I think, since the event's been out, and she only has 4,000 points gathered. So this tells me that she's not a big farmer in your current state. I will be farming as much as I can. Number 1, because of the event, and number 2, you need mana to power up your runes to get your Trickaroo running. So I would start farming a little more when you have some time. I know you're working 2 jobs. I know some people are privileged to have jobs where they could play with their phone. I don't know if you're in that kind of state, so I can't really tell you to play the game while you're working. But if you really want to make the most out of your account, you'll have to farm more than you're farming right now. You see that she has some good Nat 5s. She has a lot of water Nat 5s compared to everything else, I think. You see the Abelio, you see the Samath, you see Hey Gang, Barbara, Ariel, the Water Monkey. Yep, and then for fire, you see the Laika, the Veladrol, There's only 2 right there. And then for wind, you see the Savannah, the Tyrannus, the Diana, the Fang, the Wind Monkey, the Charlotte, the Sierra. Actually, she might have a little more in the wind department. And there's also some that she did not build down here with the Chiu and the Shizuka, the Jogan, and the Luis. Also the Annabelle. So there are a couple of good units down here. And there are 2 arena defenses that I will recommend, because right now I don't think you have the best defense. So I'll recommend that. And then for arena offense, I'll probably go with a Lucian team. That's the first thing I will make, and just run that as much as you can. Even though I'm recommending a arena defense, I don't think that means that you should be running an arena defense, because there are so many tower upgrades that you're missing, that you're lacking, and I would work on farming arena points for a while. That goes in place with you wanting to enjoy RTA more, because you are behind a whole lot of other players not powering up your towers. Blessed to have a Nikki, a LD 5 that many people don't have even in 2000 days plus, so hope you could play with her as well. So let's take a look at her runes. And here the thing that'll stand out is her missing grinds. So if you take a look at Swift and look at Speed, you'll see that slot 1 is at 20 and then 18. Both of these missing speed grinds and grinds in general. Slot 3 is slot 3 is another 20. So there's 2 runes that could be 24 or up. And then there's 1 rune that's grinded, again not plus 15. You rarely see runes that are plus 15 in this account. Slot 4 17, slot 5 21, and slot 6 15. Slot 6 being the weakest. It's pretty clear that she needs to focus on every dungeon. So I'm not gonna say that you should focus on this, and this. Just focus on the dungeon where you could farm the quickest, I guess, at this point, because 1, you want to upgrade your runes, and 2, you want to get mana as fast as possible. So I would find the dungeon that you could clear the fastest for now. And then Violent 16, again missing grinds. 26, this is a good one. Awesome that you have this one awesome rune, but sadly you need multiple of these runes to be runing up your units. Slot 4 17 again, slot 5 16, slot 6 19. Nothing crazy, right? 16, 24, really weak slot 4 being 12, 17, and then 9, so slot 6 being also weak. This goes with your dungeon teams. It looks like you have a safe GB12 for sure. However, I don't know how safe your other 2 dungeons are. And if they're not safe, I would focus on just farming GB12. That's what I would do. Now let's look at your arena. This is the defense you're running. And if you want to go a fast defense, you can. I will just switch these 2 out with a Samath and then a Clara that you don't have built up. Extremely common defense, even in G2, G3. There's still a whole lot of people that run this. However, during Rush, you see less of this. So I'm not going to say like fully G3 people run this, but I know in G2, you see a whole lot of these, or a variant of this. So this is the team I would run if you want to go fast. Now, if you want to go slow, you also have options. You have the Abelio, you have the Wind Monkey, which is a pretty good lead. Well, actually, those 2 are the only good ones you have for the defense, I think, in a tanky defense. I wish you had like maybe a Ritesh. I mean, Trion is good too, but that's 2 wind. Now, you do want to fire in the last slot if you can. You could use Leica for now, because Leica has a good passive where he could only take 30% damage, or 30% of his max damage per hit. So I guess I will run something like this if you're going to go a tanky team. And yes, in your level, with your rune quality, it looks like going a slow tanky team might be better, because you don't have a whole lot of fast runes. But that's what I will run. And arena offense, I guess you could go this, right? So Nikki could work as fluff damage, so you could do that. So this, and that. This could be an offense, right? So how does this work? Bernard goes first, and then the the Nikki goes. So it has to be a little speed tuned depending on how fast your Bernard is. Nikki will go next, use skill 3, doing some fluff damage, and then put attack buff. So this Konamiya is just a unit that's going to give the next turn to Lucian. So Konamiya moves next, boosting up the Lucian, the fat Lucian, and then Lucian cleaning up. I think this will be much faster than the offense you're running right now. Later, if you are able to get a Bastet, I will replace probably these two, put the Megan and put a Cocky. So Bernard, Megan goes, Cocky goes, put us in the fluff damage, and then Lucian cleaning up. Now, why did I say that I think at this point you should be running a farming defense? And that's because of your towers. If you see this, I think you're upgrading the wrong towers, first of all. If you want to focus with your trickery team, the thing that you would max is your guard towers. So you'll go with this and finish this first. And then the second thing you'll go is your fire or the attack towers or the crit damage towers. I'll say crit damage, Ancient Sword. Sorry, not Ancient Sword, the Fallen Ancient Kingdom. I think this is the one I'll go for next. And then I'll go for the attack. And then finally the Fire Sanctuary, which will help with the Verd damage. And then later on, it'll help with the Bale damage when you're building your BGR5 team. So that's how I would go. But until you get most of these towers done, I mean, in the end, you have to get the speed one done, the Fallen Ancient, the Ancient Sword, Guardstone, Crystal Altar, all the elementals done. And at that point, you'll be able to power up anything you want to do next. Again, it goes with how you want to focus with RTA, because most of the players that you meet, I want to say, will have towers that are mostly scaled up, especially the important ones. And also you have to buy all the Devil Mons, please. You have to every week. So that's why you have to have a farming defense, I think, because you do want to be clearing these defenses quick. So you want weak people to attack you. You attack those weak people back, and then you gain enough points to buy your weekly Devil Mons and then also power up your towers. For World Arena, I guess you're playing with what you have, which is fine. So I think if you want to go first turn, you'll need to have a box that consists of 2 speed leads at least, and you do have that, the Samath and the Sierra. So there are your 2 speed leads. Then you also have some boosters, which is the Bernard or also the Charlotte. Charlotte's a good booster, right? And then there's also the Barbara that's a good booster if you could get her fast enough. So there's a couple boosters there. And then you have like Nikki that does attack buff and more extra damage, and a cleanse, Samath, Barbara, Charlotte, Sierra, Savannah, Veressa, Bernard, and Nikki. I think those work pretty well in first turn. And second turn, you'll probably want something like the Wind Monkey, the Abelio, the Wusa. Nikki still goes well, pretty well in the second turn team. The Annabelle, the Cocky, Laika. I would build a Antares to go against the Diana. You had the Diana. I can't believe you don't have Diana out here. Right, you want the Antares. Triple Revenge Verd is also a must. So that's the type of team that I will run for second turn team. You won't be able to run too many fast units, and you also will probably fall pretty short running a second turn team. But overall, running a second turn team is much easier than running a fast team, because fast team it's all about speed tuning and also being fast, so you have to focus so it stats with speed. Even if you have that kind of fast speed, due to the fact that you're running them so fast, you'll start cutting numbers from other stats such as HP, attack, defense, which makes the overall team much weaker. And seeing your rune quality right now, I think going a second team is much better. So I would probably run a team where you want to build a Riley, so you'll go Riley +1. Usually Riley with Verd. You don't know how good Verd is in general in RTA, and I'm pretty sure there will be a lot of cases where Verd will shine. So I think a safe pick will be Riley Verd, and then start counter picking at that point. Diana's a very strong pick here. Abelio's a very strong pick. Wusa is a strong pick. Nikki could still be a strong pick because it offers the attack buff and cleanse. Sierra, depending if they bring will or not. The one downside of this team, it lacks pretty much a strip, so you might want to use Higging a lot, because that is your one AoE stripper with the Veressa, where Veressa is not as popular. I did notice that a lot of these units, when I look at them, most of them aren't scaled up, or they are missing scale ups. It looks like you're moving units, so you're scaling one unit up and then moving on. I wouldn't do that. I'll focus on a unit and make sure that it's done. Scale 1 doesn't need to be usually fully scaled up, unlike the oracles, because you do want this extra damage. This is a lot actually. Sierras, Prahas, Junos, Limas, Giannas, they all benefit from their skill 1s because they gain attack bar, and usually they're on 100 crits. They hit usually 2,000, 3,000 depending on their artifacts per hit. And you think that might be small, but that's actually a lot because they hit 3 times, and that's almost 10k damage in a turn. Higher level players take advantage of that, and I think that you should also follow those footsteps, because if they're doing it, there should be a reason. This is a lot of units, so I would choose first or second and just stick to that, because by doing so, let's say you go second turn, then you don't need units like well, Barbara is good, but you usually don't need units like this most of the time, right? So we just killed at least 4-5 units just for saying you're not going second turn. And from here, you'll start taking out units that are not fully scaled up, and also hard to ruin, because some units here are very, very hard to ruin. Overall, I think the account needs to do total hard first. You should focus on that, because that is the best source of game currency, game resources without having to spend money. And then I'll focus on probably GB12 for a very long time, because it looks like you don't have a lot of time to farm, but you are in the need of mana because you have to build the trickery team. I saw that you had some runes out there to power up. They just weren't plus 15, and until you do get them plus 15, you'll never know if you have the stats. So you do need the mana, so I'll just pick a dungeon, probably GB12, that you could farm the fastest, the quickest, and the most. And then after that, I'll work on the trickery. Once you're done with the trickery, you could do the other 3 dungeons, and then I'll progress into BGR 5. While you're doing that, you'll put up a fake defense and farm the towers. If you want to truly enjoy RTA, you need those towers done, because if those towers are not powered up, you are not playing on fair ground. You're actually losing to most people from the start. I hope that this review helped. Everybody else who watched this agrees with me. Please like and subscribe, because that really helps. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.